Good day, St. Maarten. I'm Yesenia Lazaro.
And I'm also Lawrence.
And welcome to another edition of St. Maarten News Desk.
Brought to you by TV15.
We bring you the latest and most important stories around the island and beyond.
It's the middle of the week. We want to get to the end of the week, right? So until then, let's check out these top headlines.
Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina pays tribute to Mr. Romeo Pantophlet. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina has expressed deep condolences following the passing of Mr. Romeo Pantophlet, a respected figure who dedicated much of his life to public service and the well-being of the people of St. Maarten. In a heartfelt statement, the Prime Minister praised Mr. Pantophlet's quiet but passionate commitment to making a difference in the community. His loss is felt across the entire island. He was truly a great man for our country, Dr. Mercelina said. Mr. Pantophlet served in several key roles, most notably as Minister of Tourism, Economic Affairs, Transport and Telecommunication, as well as a Member of Parliament. Throughout his career, he was known for his dedication, integrity, and service to St. Maarten. Today we say goodbye to a man who lived with purpose and gave himself freely. The Prime Minister added, "May his soul rest in peace, and may his family and friends find comfort in the memories they cherish." On behalf of the government and the people of St. Maarten, Prime Minister Dr. Mercelina extends his condolences to the family, the National Alliance, and all those mourning his great loss. Mr. Pantophlet's legacy will remain an enduring part of St. Maarten's story.
MPs demand transparency and action on utility crisis. A growing number of parliamentarians are calling for transparency, accountability, and urgent government action regarding the management of GEBE and the rising cost of utilities in St. Maarten. Member of Parliament Sarah Westcott-Williams has formally requested that Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina declassify a confidential government report titled Evaluation of Electricity and Potable Water Tariffs, St. Maarten, dated April 30th, 2025. The report reportedly covers key issues such as consumer pricing, regulatory oversight, and the long-term direction of energy provision. Westcott-Williams argues that its continued confidentiality hinders parliamentary oversight and blocks public engagement on a matter directly impacting households and businesses. "I understand the need to protect sensitive information," she stated, "but this must be balanced with the public's right to transparency and Parliament's responsibility to scrutinize policies affecting essential services." She is calling for a redacted version of the report that maintains policy-relevant findings but omits proprietary business details so it can be presented to Parliament and, where appropriate, shared with the public. "These are not just technical matters," she added. "They speak to cost of living, national regulation, and the long-term sustainability of our utilities." Her call comes as MPs Darrell York and Omar Otley continue to criticize the government's handling of energy relief and oversight at GEBE. York accused the government of choosing delay over action, pointing to Article 12.4 of GEBE's concession agreement, which gives government the authority to set electricity rates by decree, but has yet to be used. He argued that while temporary managers are appointed and new studies are commissioned, real relief for consumers remains out of reach. While leadership wants solutions, it finds ways. When it doesn't, it finds studies, York said. MP Omar Adli added his concerns, questioning why the GEBE Supervisory Board was dismissed, while the CEO, who approved a $15,000 USA Today feature, remains in place. He called the PR expenditure a publicity stunt, especially during a period marked by blackouts, unresolved billing issues, and growing public frustration. That money could have helped low-income families or stabilized the grid, Otley said. Instead, it was spent on image campaign while core problems persist. Together, the MPs are urging the government to stop stalling, use existing legal tools, and prioritize the needs of the people over political optics. Restoring trust at GEBE. Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina. The Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Luc Mercelina has confirmed that the government has requested the immediate resignation of NVGB's Supervisory Board of Directors, citing a breakdown in trust and ongoing failures in service delivery. This is not about politics or personalities. GEBE is a lifeline, not a playground for power, said Mercelina, who stressed that the company has failed the public for too long. Among the government's key concerns is the mishandling of the 2022 cyber attack. Persistent billing issues more than 2 years later, the board's refusal to implement cost-cutting recommendations by the regulatory authority in Curaçao, resistance to relief measures, and needed reforms. While the board's term runs through 2025-2026, Mercelina emphasized performance has an expiry date, and that time has passed. If the board refuses to resign voluntarily, the government is prepared to act using its legal right as sole shareholder. On the USA Today issue, the Prime Minister also addressed public speculation surrounding a USA Today feature. He acknowledged giving a referral for a leadership profile, but clarified that no government funds were used, and he had no involvement in GB's reported $15,000 payment for a separate promotional article. All decisions involving contracts or payments were made solely by GEBE's temporary manager. That's a matter of corporate responsibility, he said. A clear shift in governance, Mercelina said. The people of St. Maarten are tired of unreliable billing, mismanagement, and excuses. We are drawing the line and restoring order. This isn't about blame, it's about building a better GEBE. He also clarified that the appointment of GEBE's managing board lies entirely the supervisory board and is not under the direct authority of the Prime Minister. We're not here for applause, we're here to govern. And that's exactly what we're doing, concluded Mercelina.
KPSM ramps up road safety checks amid serious scooter accident. The police force of St. Maarten, known as KPSM, has intensified safety operations across the island with a focus on road safety, traffic enforcement, and community outreach. Over recent weeks, KPSM has conducted a series of patrols and traffic controls at key locations. During a checkpoint operation from Friday night into Saturday, officers stopped 38 vehicles and issued several fines for violations including reckless driving and drive without a valid license. 14 individuals were also searched in connection with firearm and narcotic laws. In KPSM, officers extended their patrols to Aaron Jacob drives and nearby areas, engaging residents and sharing safety tips as part of KPSM's ongoing community-based efforts. Police say these proactive actions will continue in the interest of the public's safety. Meanwhile, a serious scooter accident occurred early Sunday morning, August 3rd, near Princess Juliana International Airport. The rider reportedly lost control near the airport entrance after hitting a raised curb. The man sustained a head injury and was rushed to the Sint Maarten Medical Center. Due to the severity of his condition, he will be airlifted abroad for further treatment. KPSM is reminding all scooters and motorcycle riders to exercise caution on the road and to always wear appropriate safety gear.
Let's put everything on the table. People always give their opinion, and you can either take it or crunch it. Let them judge. We give in to the most irresistible flavor. We devour every nugget that falls in our hands, especially when it's our crunchy fried chicken. And let the crumbs fly if needed. Let them keep judging. We'll keep indulging. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Make the switch. Get faster internet for less.
Hey there, it's Mizzy with a Sunshine Report, straight out of Sunshine City, Sint Maarten, bringing you the warmth and the sunshine you need to kickstart your day. So let's dive into today's forecast and see how the skies are treating us. And that's it for your Sunshine Report, brought to you by the Met Department of St. Martin. Stay safe, stay friendly, Sunshine City.
Thank you for being here. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. There are going to be several areas that develop over the next week to week and a half. So I thank you for your trust as we go forward. I will be tracking how close some of these get to land, if they impact land, and also where they are not going. I know there's a lot of other entities out there that make it look like everything is coming right at us. That is not necessarily the case. I got you covered right here. That is my promise to you. All right, we have Dexter, and that has stayed on track from what we've been talking about. That is north of Bermuda, south of Nova Scotia. These two tropical waves, they have my attention. I do believe both of them will develop into tropical storms or hurricanes and work their way across the Atlantic. Where exactly they go, still a little bit too early to tell, but I want to show you everything I'm seeing now as we set the stage for the next week to week and a half as we track these marching across. All right, we're looking at some showers and storms near Trinidad and Tobago. We could see some that clip us by today. Hit or miss Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, the DR, Puerto Rico. Some additional rain, central Bahamas. We've seen some of the rain, and then even in southern Belize we've had a bit of that rain that's been around from last night into today. Now here are the tropical waves. This one right here and this one right here. These are the two that I am seeing developing. There's more moisture in the atmosphere, right? The dust season is really June, July. That's kind of behind us. There's still some areas of dust, but that's lessening. That allows these tropical waves, unfortunately, to start to develop. And a couple of them can get, both of them can eventually get close to land. Now the first one is going to be a bit trickier. It depends on how soon it develops. The American model has this almost brushing us by in the northeastern Caribbean as a developing system, and I'll show you that, and then getting stronger and stronger as it approaches, not necessarily moves in, but as it approaches the Bahamas down the road. But this same area, the European model, just has this curving out, even missing Bermuda, staying off to the east of Bermuda. So huge differences out there right now. And I know a lot of other entities may be latching on to this scenario here because it's scarier and maybe it gets more clicks. That's not what this channel is about. I appreciate you subscribing, but subscribe or don't subscribe, I just want the right information out. There is no way, I've been doing this for decades, no way at this point to know which track this initial tropical wave will be taking. But where things go, I will be tracking it down island by island, country by country for you. So now on the flip side, here is the American model. Good and bad news with this one. The bad news is it doesn't really curve away this first system, but the second system's back behind it, or the additional system's back behind it, shows them a little bit weaker. But let's go on time here. So this here is through the end of the week as we get into Friday. And by Friday, you see a couple things here. Let me stop it right here on Friday. Here is the tropical wave, similar to the European model at this point. And then watching this spot here that will be trying to develop up near the Carolinas, may briefly become a tropical depression or tropical storm, and then kind of skirt north of Bermuda as we go forward. I'll show you that more in a moment, and I want to cover the new system in the Eastern Pacific as well in this video. But you can see here what happens with the American model. This is when the European model tries to curve it, the American model doesn't. So why are the models different? They're like different computers, different brands of computers. They take into things in the atmosphere differently. And this one's saying, hey, high pressure is going to build in quickly, so this may not curve. And here's that second wave back behind it. Now, if this area doesn't curve, it will get close to us in the northeastern Bahamas. So I'd be watching Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda. Not necessarily that something is going to be huge, but something may be developing nearby just north of Puerto Rico, British U.S. Virgin Islands. But then these water temperatures are so very warm, as we know, that eventually a week from now, that this area could develop into a tropical storm or hurricane very close to the Bahamas. And then watching that area back behind it. And you can see both of the models show a lot of activity. The big initial difference is this thing here. Does this curve out or does this move toward land? And then we watch these. All of the modeling are showing some additional systems that look to move more off to the west. So I know there's a lot going on, and I can't fine tune something that really hasn't developed yet. So I'm not trying to hedge any bets with you. I'm just letting you know what I know and what I don't know. We need to watch these very carefully. So multiple areas will be developing. I'll be monitoring the track of those closely, where they go, but also where they don't go. I'll let you know that, so we could be in the kind of all clear zones in some spots in active time period ahead. And Dexter out there now, the next named storm, that is Aaron. That is the next name on the list. Thank you for being with me, and have a good rest of your day.
It's hurricane season. Are you prepared? Here are a few tips to remember to help keep you and your family safe. If you're not in an area that is advised to evacuate and you decide to stay in your home, plan for adequate supplies in case you lose power and water for several days and you're not able to leave due to flooding or blocked roads. This hurricane season, make a family emergency communication plan. This public service announcement was brought to you by the government of Sint Maarten.
Justice Ministry, UNODC, launched major prison reform program. The Honorable Justice Minister Natalie Taklin has signed a €3.8 million agreement with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime to launch Advance St. Maarten, a 4-year prison reform program that began August 1st. The initiative focuses on inmate rehabilitation, reintegration, and staff training, marking a major step toward a safer, more professional justice system. We can't wait for a new building to restore dignity and structure. Reform starts now, said Minister Taklin. Under Advance St. Maarten, inmates at the Point Blanche prison will receive education, job training, and mental health support, while officers undergo professional development. The program also prepares for the upcoming long-term prison facility, expected to begin construction in Q4 2025. This is how we rebuild trust in our institutions and in justice, Taklin said.
Diaspora database launch highlights meet and greet with Minister Gumbs. On Friday, August 1st, 2025, the Cabinet of the Minister Plenipotentiary hosted a meet and greet with Education Minister, the Honorable Melissa D. Gumbs, marking the official launch of its Diaspora database, a new tool to connect St. Maarten students and professionals in the Netherlands. Minister Plenipotentiary Honorable Gracita R. Arundel said the database will help the diaspora stay informed and engaged. Minister Gumbs praised the initiative as a valuable tool and reaffirmed her ministry's commitment to improving education and development opportunities back home. She also addressed student housing challenges in the Netherlands and said collaborative efforts are underway to find solutions. The evening ended with a Q&A and informal networking. NRPB ends final contract with non-performing contractor. The NRPB has terminated its third and final contract with a non-performing contractor under the Emergency Recovery Project 1, ERP1. The latest cancellation involved the planned expansion of the Emergency Operations Center. Earlier contracts for school gyms and sports facilities were also ended due to lack of progress. All contracts followed World Bank procurement rules, and termination came after standard procedures and consultations with the government and the World Bank. About 10% of each contract had been paid in advance, but financial safeguards were in place to recover those funds. Despite these setbacks, ERP1 has already delivered major results, including repairs to homes, 19 schools, emergency shelters, and key infrastructure. A public Q&A has been published to clarify the situation and next steps. The NRPB reaffirmed its commitment to transparency and completing the work public expects. More at nrpbsxm.org/ERP1FAQ.
Native Nations launches a local farming program linked to cannabis industry. Native Nations St. Maarten has launched a new farming program that combines food crop production with regulated cannabis cultivation. aiming to boost local agriculture, food security, and job creation. Local farmers will be offered land, seeds, expert training, and purchase agreements for cannabis harvests. A farmers market will also be developed to sell food crops directly to the public, with plans for future agritourism. Minister Honorable Grisha Heiliger Martin joined Sunday launch, confirming cannabis legislation is progressing and expected in Parliament by year's end. The program stems from a government initiative dating back to 2022. Native Nations, selected as lead partner in 2023, says the industry could generate over 565 jobs, including 160 in farming. Native Nations will continue community meetings to expand farmer participation and ensure inclusivity. Urgent call. Help shelter minor mothers and newborns. St. Maarten Judicial and Institutional Services, SJIS, is urgently seeking compassionate families or couples to offer a safe and stable home for 2 minor mothers and their newborns in immediate need of placement. These young families need the following: a secure and loving environment, emotional support and guidance, cooperation with social workers and guardians, a non-judgmental approach to help them grow together. Keeping mother and baby together is vital for healthy bonding and development. Can you help? If you can, call 526-4310 or email them at fostercare@sjis_sxm.org. Your support could change 2 young lives. Please reach out today. Sint Maarten Library marks World Breastfeeding Week with family literacy events. To support World Breastfeeding Week 2025, the Sint Maarten Library and Collective Prevention Services, known as CPS, are hosting 2 family-focused events. The first is Storytime on August 8th from 6:30 p.m. at White and Yellow Cross Chapel, interactive reading to promote early childhood bonding and literacy. The second is Mom's Health Fair on August 9th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Balera Community Center, featuring books on family, wellness, and shared reading. A special membership drive offers discounted rates for parents and free memberships for children. Gifts for young kids will be available while supplies last. These events highlight the library's commitment to supporting families through reading and lifelong learning.
Today, we are excited to introduce rising author Grammy Brown, whose inspiring works reflect resilience, personal growth, and real-life experiences. Having recently donated 4 impactful titles to the Sint Maarten Library, Grammy is about to launch his latest book, Mountain Trails, a heartfelt adventure about a father and son bonding through nature. Coming up next, join us for an exclusive interview with Grammy Brown, where he shares the story behind Mountain Trails and his journey as a writer. Stay tuned. We're here with author Grammy Brown. Welcome back to Sint Maarten.
Thank you.
I know you're here for several events and also about the launch of a particular one of your books. Can you give us just a quick background of your heritage, where you are right now, and why you're writing the books you're writing right now?
Thank you for having me, Addison. I was born in St. Kitts in the late 60s. I grew up on St. Eustatius in the 70s, and I came to Sint Maarten in 1986. Lived here straight for 13 years, worked various jobs, Pelican, Harrigan Carpenter Shop, Van Shims and Sons. I mean, stuff that's no longer exists.
Right.
So I've been here a while. And then I moved to the US in 2000 and been there for the last 25 years. But I've come back and worked businesses and different things, projects in St. Maarten, Curacao, St. Kitts. Over the years, I retired 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then just about 2 years ago, I started to write my first book. It was a book about me. Originally, it started off as a page about bullying and the effects of it that it have on kids, the ones who do it and the one who receive it. And a friend of mine told me just write more about myself, including in it, to see, let people see, you know. And so the first book came alive. And since then I got the bug, and now I got seven books.
7 books in. Tell us about this book that you've come to St. Maarten to release.
So Mountain Trail is a book about St. Maarten, and it's a book about the hike trail, my favorite hike trails, which is the other side of the causeway on the Cold Bay side.
Right.
We go up the hill. I've been trying to find the name, the correct name of the hill.
Diamond, they call it Diamond Estate. The area is Diamond Estate.
It's Diamond Estate.
Yeah, but on the other side is Bellevue.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Outside is Bellevue.
So I've been trying to say, okay, this hill, all of our hills supposed to have names, so what's the name of the actual hill? And I couldn't find the name, so I... But I love hiking there. We hike there every week, whenever I'm here.
Okay.
And so I decided to make a children's book based on the hike trail. Now, I don't have a son, but it's about a father and son.
Okay.
But I put that because there's so many sons, so many boys now lacking father figures.
Yes, that's right.
Especially for those who don't have their biological father around.
Right.
And so I was raised by a stepdad, and I had a mentor at the age of 14.
Okay.
And for me, I would say all we need is male figures.
Right.
We don't really necessarily need our biological father. So in the absence of that, men in the community just need to be the men that become the figures that little boys want to grow up to become.
Right. They see the figure and they see the role model around them. That can affect. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
How has reception been so far? I know you had the Phillipsburg Library.
Yes.
They had an official launch of the book in their library itself. How did that go?
So that was really good. The females there, they're so encouraging and supportive, you know. So all my books.
You mean the ladies of the library?
The ladies of the library, yeah. They are, you know, they're really cool. And they got Irma, I think she's retiring.
Irma, yeah.
And she was the one with my first book.
Wow.
That actually said, don't forget to pass and drop one off at the library.
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a thing. And so I did that book, and then ever since then they have basically accepted me. They're very great with local authors.
Definitely.
And every one of my book is actually available at the St. Maarten Library.
Oh, that's wonderful to know.
That's
so
very good.
the library is doing so much these days to have the community come through, to pick up locally and regionally written books. So definitely you can get this book at the library and other books. I'm sure some of your previous books are there too.
Yeah, all of my books are
all of them
are there. So
what would you like to leave this time with us? Because you're on NEWSDESK as well. A lot of people will maybe for the first time get to know about you. What you want to leave with them about, you know, your retiree life, that's one. Being an author and these sorts of books that you're leaving.
Well, retirement is something you better have hobbies. Or it's going to be very boring.
I hear you.
So I got hiking, I got traveling, I got book writing. So that's great. And I really want to pass on plenty of the experiences I have, especially the good experiences, on to the next generation.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so that's what I do. My books are also available in local bookstores, Adolphus Richardson, Van Dorp bookstores, Christian bookstore, Fredia Block in French Quarter, and Anya Bookstore on Cul-de-sac.
Yes.
So you can find my books everywhere. There is 7 books. They're all different. So grab one to start and then do the other 6 overtime.
What the young kids call binge. So binge on the
You
other
could
book.
binge a book, actually, yeah.
Gummy, thank you so much. We're definitely going to do what we can do to make sure some people know your book are here and they go out and get it. And definitely, anytime you stop in St. Maarten, please stop by NEWSDESK.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man.
That's all the time we have for today's edition of St. Maarten NEWSDESK.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. on TV 15, and then across all social media platforms. I'm Austin Lawrence.
And I'm just saying the last and wishing you an amazing week. See you next time.
Stay friendly, St. Maarten.
Stay friendly, St. Maarten.
I'll take it on there a bit. Stay friendly, St. Maarten.